All right, guys, we are back again. The big 2-0. Can you believe it? Hell22 here with Murmaider.
I can't believe that we've done 20 of these. This is
know.
Crazy.
We're not on location in the headquarters tonight. We're actually elsewhere.
Yep.
So if you hear a sound difference, it's because we are elsewhere. We had some technical difficulties on the site, some internet issues. You know how that stuff goes. But the dark gods of metal smote the invaders, and we are back in full force. So unfortunately, due to the problem in the headquarters, Murmaider, you were in charge this week, and you took care of some new reviews this week.
Yep.
What'd you have?
Well, I got two for you. The first one that I did was The Sun Through a Telescope is the name of the band. Their album that I reviewed was Orange, which came out this past year. They're a group from Canada, and basically are a mixture of, I guess, like stoner metal and experimental. There's a lot of different weird noises and sounds throughout the album, but it kept it interesting, and it was, it kind of, I guess you could say, the instruments, the guitars kind of sounded like old school Mastodon, which is
really?
which is what I liked about it.
Surprise.
Yeah, so I, that really got me right in the beginning. Most of the songs, there's only 5 songs on the album, and most of them are instrumentals, with maybe 2 songs that have a couple vocals on them it really just has some like wicked growling on it, which I was impressed with. But it wasn't even like lyrics. Some of it was just so like faded in the background. It was almost just acted like an instrument itself. The vocals, like the screaming. But they had some really weird noises with it, like just, I don't know, odd synth sounds that were placed in weird spots in the album. Like there's track 2, I remember, it just had like some really heavy guitars, and then like they would cut off, and you would just hear like a couple chords being slammed of like this weird synth sound.
Interesting.
And then it'd go right back to it. It was really like trippy, I guess. It kind of reminded me of like Gojira, some of their music, the guitars and stuff anyways, and it was just, it was good though, I liked it.
When I saw you did the review for this band, the name sounds like a really good post-rock band.
Yeah.
The Sun Through a Telescope. Very poetic, you know.
Yeah.
What was the other one you did this week?
The other album I did was a Viking metal band, or folk metal, by the name of Northsong, and they're from Illinois. They've been together for about a year now, the band. They're very new to the scene, and what they're putting out is really good music as far as what folk metal is, and they are really hitting the genre and what represents that genre. They have a lot of jolly, upbeat melodies and Viking-like sounds and lyrics.
So it's more like Elwady Korpiklani folk, as opposed to Insephirum,
right? It's not,
the lighter folk.
Yeah. The growling though is really heavy though. I mean, it was really good. Now the only issue that I had, not really an issue, but just the only thing that you'll find with this band is that they're gonna sound like everybody else. Yeah. They don't really stand out, but what they're doing, it sounds great. The quality is really good. The recording quality was excellent. And I think it's just a good album to listen to. I would definitely check it out if you get a chance. But now, for a new album that's out right now from a very popular band, you did a review for the new Dream Theater album, right?
Yeah, and when I went to write this review, I remember you saying, that you didn't think I was going to like it,
right? And
I was almost going to just kick that one to you and let you do it because you really seemed to enjoy it. But we ended up pretty much agreeing on the strong points and the weak points, and. Yeah. I am not going to say it's a bad album. I can't say that. I think that it is a natural progression from Black Clouds and Silver Linings to this one. The title of it is A Dramatic Turn of Events. Mm-hmm. Not sure what that's in reference to. We're just not going to talk about that whole thing. But it's a Dream Theater album, and when you listen to it, it's a Dream Theater album. But it almost seems like they took this weird turn. And in interviews, Jordan Rudess had said that now that guy... was no longer in the band, that they felt like they could do things they couldn't do before. And as much as it pains me to say this, if this is what they've wanted to do all along, they're in trouble. Yeah. Because the album is very soft. There aren't really a lot of heavy rocking parts. It's definitely leaning back towards the softer progressive rock as opposed to the heavier progressive metal.
Right.
And I think you had the best comparison when you said a lot of the songs reminded you of Wither from Black Clouds and Silver Linings.
Yeah, which I liked.
You liked it, and it's fine, but an album entirely composed of that is a little tough. The last song on the album is just like piano and James LaBrie.
Yeah, I caught the last couple that you were saying were basically just straight ballads and piano throughout all of them.
And, you know, I think I was bitching about this the other day, I've never been a huge fan of Dream Theater lyrics. His lyrical quality is, I mean, this guy's not Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But I thought the lyrics on this album were particularly cheesy.
Yeah, they were a little bit.
And it kind of weighed on me. And again, I like the album. It's fine. There's a couple, you know, really good solos, but I thought it sounded more like a disjointed effort. You know, when I did the review of Systematic Chaos, I think one of the things I mentioned was that, yes, it's a lot of like guitar wankery, like, hey, look what I can do, but it always flowed nicely in the song.
Right.
This album, I just didn't find that. It was like guitar solo, keyboard solo, guitar solo, keyboard solo, breakdown, guitar solo, keyboard solo, outro. It just didn't seem to fit.
Well, I've been listening to it a lot lately, and I have to admit it has definitely grown on me. Mm-hmm. And I love the first 5 tracks now. I can just sit and re-listen to the first 5 tracks over and over again. I really do like them.
But then once you get past those first 5...
it makes me just kind of want to start over after that.
Yeah. Standing on the Backs of Angels, which was the first single from the album, I thought it was a good song. I thought that was exactly what I expected from the album.
Right.
And even track 2, I know you had pointed out was one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And even that one, I really like it. But then once you get to the halfway point of the album, you're waiting for something.
Yeah, right.
Just something to reach out and grab you. And
then out of nowhere, you're hit with a bunch of ballads.
And, you know, James LaBrie in the studio is pretty good because, you know, they can do all the fine-tuning. But you know damn well that when the time comes to see this album played live, it's going to be a struggle. So... But, you know, I will say, in reference to that dramatic turn of events, the new drummer, Mike Mangini, he's not bad. The guy's really good. Yeah. But I think Mike Portnoy brought a lot of personality to the music, whether you like him or not.
Right.
So it's a little different.
Yeah.
A little different. Now, Murmaider, you know, we took a night off Wednesday. Mm-hmm. We didn't post any new reviews because you went down to new Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
And you saw the Big Four.
Yes.
So what the fuck?
Well, that was an amazing experience, first of all. I've never seen any of those bands live before. And I felt like I needed to see them live before it gets around that time that they are too old and they don't tour anymore. And who knows if they're ever going to tour together like that again. Uh-huh. There are rumors of them never touring like that again, such a big tour.
Though it is a huge cash cow, so it's going to be tough. Because at first they weren't going to do a tour. They were just playing in Bulgaria. They played the big show, and then that was going to be it. And then it was like, well,
let's do a couple
we can make a couple million each.
Well, Anthrax came on first, and I'm not really familiar with Anthrax. I never really took the time to get into them. I know who they are, and I mean, live they were pretty good. I like what they had to offer, and there was so much energy, and it was early. A lot of people. I'd have to say that the stadium wasn't even half full when they went on. It didn't get busier till Megadeth came on, which was the second band, and I mean, I love Megadeth, but I don't know, their performance. Or let me change that. Dave Mustaine's performance was lacking. It had, I don't know. You put it as like you've seen him before, and you said that it kind of seems like in the beginning he's like sleeping. That's exactly like how it was. Only the whole show, like he was it was really hard to understand the vocals. The guitar work was amazing, and the instruments were amazing. But he just kind of stood there, and he didn't move around at all, and just I don't know.
Now he said something about neck surgery, correct?
Right. He said that I guess that he was going to have neck surgery within the next couple of days, and that he really shouldn't be there, but he wanted to come out, for his fans and everything, which is cool. And I'm thinking maybe that's why he didn't really move around. But you said you've seen him years ago.
Yeah, I've seen him 3 times, and every time the first 5 songs, it's like Dave Mustaine is The Walking Dead.
Right. He's
just kind of standing at the mic. And again, the guitar work's always good, but the vocals are always a problem.
Yeah.
And I've seen him in different venues, and it's always a problem.
Yeah. And it just wasn't clear. Like, I don't know, Anthrax, Slayer, all those guys, they were a lot more, the vocals were just filled with so much energy compared to Mustaine's vocals. I just felt like he was really mumbling and, I don't know, not really trying at all. Like I said, maybe it had to do with his neck surgery, and maybe he's just trying to take it easy. But I mean, you said that it's kind of been like that in the past before.
Well, and one of the things, you like you said, you wanted to get out and see this tour because you don't know if they're ever going to do it again. Let's face it, these guys are getting up there in years. I mean, they've been the big four thrash bands for 20 years.
Right.
So, Dave Mustaine, he, had hurt his hand at one point. They said he'd never play guitar again, and he's managed to make that work. But, maybe, it's his career is probably winding down, and it's tough. I know the guys from Slayer, had issues. Jason Newsted left Metallica because he said all the headbanging on tour just took a toll on him, and he didn't want to do the touring anymore.
Right.
So.
And that's why, like I said, I spent a lot of money on the tickets, and it was worth it, though. Now I have a story to tell, and I'll always be able to say that I've seen them live. And
then Slayer comes on.
Yeah, when Slayer came on, that I have to say, you remember me talking, every time I mentioned the show, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to the Slayer concert.
Yep.
I would always call it the Slayer concert, even though they weren't the headlining band. They were ridiculous. Like, they made me like them even more, just seeing them live. And I don't know, just everything about it was just incredible. The bass was so heavy, sitting all the way back for where I was. You could just feel it through your body, and it was just insane. And the whole crowd was just so into it. Fist pumping and devil horns, the whole thing. It was great.
Well, let's face it, Slayer is, out of these big four bands, Slayer is the only one that's still basically relevant.
Yeah.
Metallica, who knows? Who knows where they're going? They have an album coming out with Lou Reed. Who knows where they're going to go? Megadeth has an album coming out called 13, and the I is a 1 and the E's are 3s, which once you start spelling stuff out in, numbers and stuff, it's probably not going to be very good. Not to mention their last album was shit.
Yeah.
Anthrax has always been the smallest of the big four.
Yeah.
So who knows?
They just came out with their new album, which I haven't listened to yet.
I haven't yet either, and I intend to, because I have a feeling there's going to be a couple of good tracks on there.
Yeah,
but
it was sounding like crazy
But Slayer is the band now. Slayer is the biggest of the big four right now.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. And then, of course, Metallica came on, and I'm not a crazy Metallica fan, but I do like Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
I like their older stuff, which, is the same with everybody, basically. But, live, they were amazing. Everything just sounded perfect. Like, the actual quality of it sounded like it was CD, practically. And then there was fire shooting out through the stage and everything.
Sure, the pyro was crazy.
Yeah, which I've never been to a show that had all that before.
Yeah, we're usually indoors.
Yeah, right. So I was like, you could feel the heat, even from all the way back where I was. You could feel the heat from the flames, and just seeing the crowd, how into it everybody was. It was amazing. So that was definitely an experience, and I would love to do that again if they ever did that again.
Well, like I said, it's a cash cow, and I can't imagine them staying away forever. Maybe they'll do it, every other year, every 5 years or something.
Yeah.
But, it's cool because they all have, with the exception of Slayer, I don't know what Slayer's doing album-wise, but, Metallica has a new album coming out, Megadeth has a new album coming out, Anthrax just had the one come out.
Right.
So it's kind of cool to keep them all, in the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
But, with Metallica, they're the one band out of the four that doesn't really tour. At this point, they play isolated shows.
A little bit, yeah, right. Nothing.
Because they all have more money than Jesus himself.
Yeah.
So they have more money than the Ceiling Cat.
Yeah.
So they don't need to tour. So this is, it's good for them. They get out and play 5 dates a year, and that way those 5 dates can all be amazing.
Yeah.
Because they're not grinding it out day after day.
Yep.
So yeah, that's all we got for you guys this week. We've resolved all of our technical difficulties, so things should be running smoothly again.
Yep.
We've got some Murmaiders already got a ton of reviews chalked up for next week. Going to get back on the horse and get writing and get caught up. As you saw yesterday, the interview with Jarkko from Brimir went up. Make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already, because we really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, check out the album too. It's a great album.
Yeah, Breathe Fire to the Sun. It's still rated my top albums of the year.
Yeah.
So make sure you check that out, and
we'll be having more interviews for you coming up.
Oh yeah, next week, or this coming Saturday rather, we have Cromlech.
Yep.
The week after that, I think we have Ogun from Italy.
Yep.
We've got they're just coming. We're setting up interviews with a lot of these bands that we've done, and the sampler. We're going to have our sampler in the works. We got the track listing is getting firmed up right now, so we're getting that taken care of, and can't wait to unveil that to the world. And we are ready to do that stuff. So, for Hell22, Murmaider again, Sorrow Eternal,
Not at the headquarters.
Not at the headquarters. Check us out all over the internets. You slick motherfuckers.